just got announced you're going to get Swerve Strickland at AEW Full Gear, November 23rd. Any words for Swerve before we head out and end it?
I think it's a bad move for him.
It's the Lame Guys Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back for a second time, fresh off his AEW debut, the almighty Bobby Lashley.
Hey.
Bobby Lashley, good to have you back, man. Good
Yes,
to have
sir.
Good to be back.
you back. You've had a pretty busy week. Pretty few weeks actually.
Yeah.
We had our episode come out, and we felt like it went really well.
Yeah.
You know, we had some stuff happen on social media. I thought it was a little overblown. You know, I don't know about you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, but I looked at overall. I feel like the episode went very well, and I felt like you gave a lot of good discussion. So thoughts on, you know, how you feel about the people talking about the whole Gunther situation?
I don't know, man, because like I told you guys before, it's like I'm one of those guys that love everybody. I'm very very appreciative and respectful to everybody that I work with and everybody that's in the business. Like, I'm not one of the guys to leave one organization and then hope that the other organization goes down. I have friends still over at WWE, so I still watch and I still kind of cheer for those guys to make sure everything's going great over there. Talk to some of the guys. Same with over in TNA, I still talk with some of the guys over there. So in the wrestling business across the board, I'm one of those guys that I want everybody to do well. Okay, so when we were talking last time, I thought it was cool. But, you know, I guess I took a little heat because some people were taking some of the things that I said as, oh, he's trying to do a racial thing or he's trying to do that. In wrestling business, I mean, first off, if you look at some of the groups that are formed right now, they're formed in a very interesting way. You know, Latino over here.
Yeah. We have the LWO,
and then that happens, but it's not so much a negative thing either way. I think it's just a thing of how they put it together, how groups kind of form. And I think that certain groups, it would be kind of interesting to see the dynamic of teams working together. And in our society right now, a lot of these groups butt heads anyway. So why are they butting heads? It could be for whatever reason. But I think that if you brought that to light, you know, on TV, I think some of them could be fun. By all means, I am not feeling racist towards any particular group. And I don't know why people ran with it, but that's one thing is like in the wrestling business, what's unfortunate is that we do have these dirt sheets. Some are ran by companies, some are ran by guys in companies, and it's just ridiculous. And they just really just try to look for things that they can just pull out to get some clickbait, and then they spew some drama online. Look, for those people, I got to tell them, just stay away from me. Because, like, you're not going to, if you find something, then I'm going to come back and explain it. But if in any case, I'm just not that guy. I'm not that guy that's spreading it. There's some guys that want that out, and they sit there and have little beef and battles with each other. But for me, I'm not. I'm very confident in what I am, what I can do, and what I have going forward. So I'm just not that guy, so they can just stay off of mine and leave my interviews unheard. That's what it is, but I'm not that guy to spew any hate. And I didn't like how it ran. Some people came to me and they were like, "Oh man, that would have been cool." And then other people were like, "Oh man, I saw one post that some guy was like, well, Bobby really has CTE right now. He's losing his mind."
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
ridiculous. That's
I was
ridiculous.
like, okay, really? Is that where it's gone?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And we grew up in the Attitude Era. We grew up in the towards the end of the Attitude Era, mainly the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
We've seen so much stuff in wrestling back in the day, right? And we're kids growing up watching this. That's actually like probably stuff that shouldn't be on TV. You know, your idea. You said that, and you know, we looked at each other and just thought, like, that would have been crazy. That would have been wild. To make it into a negative aspect, I couldn't believe that. It was just crazy to me that people would look at that idea and be like, oh, that's racial, whatever. I look at it as, I want to see Hurt Business Bobby or Hurt Syndicate Bobby go against Gunther. Like, I look at that picture and I just think that would have been fantastic to see.
It would. And if you think about it across the board, I was married on TV. You guys saw
Yes,
that.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you look at things of what I'm capable of, what I'm willing to do, I'm willing to throw myself out there in certain cases.
Right.
I mean, when I did that with Lana, you should have seen the death threats that I was getting
No,
on
wow.
DMs.
Wow.
Oh man, here we go. I just put out another clickbait. Here it goes. Bobby said there was death threats on him. Jeez.
I'm guessing it was from like Rusev fans and everything, right?
I don't know who it was.
Oh, okay.
You know, across the board, but it's who cares, man?
Right,
At the
right.
end of the day, I'm
It's
just a person that
entertainment.
really does not care. If we have fun with it and the crowd like get engaged with it, man, just run with it and then have fun with it. And I think that's how some of the best storylines have come about, is about like changing the regular thought process of someone. It's like, oh, this guy sees this guy, he's mad, and let's fight. Come on, we have other avenues we can go.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we kind of just thought it was overblown. So I understand completely your thought point of view, and it's nothing. It was nothing different than what we've seen growing up or anything like that.
But as we mentioned, I mean, we thought the interview went very well in our opinion. We still appreciate it for being our first interview and coming back for a second time. We know you had some things to get off your chest for that one. I mean, rightfully so. We completely understand it. But overall, let's just speak positive. Congratulations on debuting at AEW.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Bobby. Good to see you back on TV, man.
Yeah, I know we kind of asked that question on the first go around, and then you asked our opinions, you know, like what's our thoughts on it. But it was really cool to see the fans' perspective, or like the fans' reaction, so positive to seeing you again.
Yeah, I kind of knew it was going to be something like that, where there was going to be a little bit of a positive response.
Yeah.
I didn't know how it was going to be going over to AEW, because a lot of people were putting under my messages, go back to WWE, and I was like, I don't think really is my choice here. You know,
Right.
I think WWE kind of like, we're not going to renew with you, so we're going to move on. So for me, I always looked at it as I have so much more to give, and I still want to. So when I went over to AEW, it was because of that. I met with Tony Khan, and Tony Khan was super cool. And the whole time I was like, there's no way. Are you trying to get me? You know, and everybody over there says the same thing. They're like, he's saying this stuff, but I can't believe him. But then everybody that I've talked to also, they're like, he really is that guy. Like
Ricochet just said that on Chris Van Vliet. He said he just had a 3-hour long conversation with him, like nothing. They didn't even talk about business. They just talked about wrestling in general.
Yeah, and he's a good dude, man. I think he's great for the sport of wrestling or the business of wrestling, however you want to look at it. But I think he really is a genuine dude in the wrestling business. It's scary because it's like, don't let your guard down. Don't let your guard down. But he has been, man. I've seen the guy go around, and he genuinely loves wrestling, and he loves the guys in wrestling. So when you come in, like, he knows about everything that you've ever done. He's like an encyclopedia of wrestling knowledge, and he actually treats people really well. Yeah. And I'm not saying I didn't get treated well over at WWE, because by far I was treated really well. I made it to big levels. I held huge titles in WWE, and I was able to learn a lot. It's just two different companies. And over at AEW, I think in my career where it is right now, I think it's really good for me. Would I ever hope that I could have stayed with WWE? Absolutely. My plan was to have like one more, maybe 2 years, and then retire with WWE, because I was doing the stuff with the Street Profits, and what I ultimately wanted at the end of that is to, when I go out, there was certain things that I want to do that I told you guys about. One is I wanted Dawkins and or Montez like turn on me, and I wanted to have a feud with one of them, and then the other one, and then eventually had both of them take me out at the end. And like I said, I've always said with those two guys, both of them are just amazingly talented. So I ultimately wanted to get beat. There was 3 or 4 people that I wanted to go out on. Right. And I wanted every one of them to have a good feud with me, and I wanted to be able to put all of them over. And it was definitely Dawkins, definitely Montez, Austin Theory. I wanted to turn him babyface, and I never had an opportunity to really do something with LA Knight. And he and I were good friends before within Impact. So when we were coming over, we had several talked about him coming over and what he was going to do. So I was like, that would be a cool one also.
Right. Outside
of that, I had really no ego with it. I just wanted to really go out in the right way. But that just didn't happen. So I was like, all right, well, let me switch gears. And then there's some guys over here that I want to do some business with. And I started meeting some of the guys, and I was like, oh, okay, well, didn't really know that about him, but that would be cool to try. And I talked to, last week I went to the big event, or yesterday I went to the big event. And when I went there, I was asking a lot of fans, I was like, hey, man, over at AEW, because a lot of people knew about it. And I was like, okay, there are a lot of AEW fans. You know? I was like, who would you guys want to see me in a feud with? And of course they said the big names right off the bat, MJF and Swerve, and I was like, hold on, let's think about somebody that you wouldn't even think about, like the last person, but you thought, that sounds interesting. I said, let's talk about some of those names, and there were some names that were thrown out there, and I was just like,
could be interesting.
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people that are interesting. It just what I think is cool about it is it gives us an opportunity to be a little bit more creative. Right. Because, you know, some guys don't have the size, but some guys have extreme amounts of talent. And then some guys weren't never really in a story. They were just in wrestling matches. So it would be an opportunity to put these guys through a story and really run with it. So there's a lot of guys, man. A lot of guys over there. I started watching it more since I've been over there and just kind of like really meeting some of the guys. And I was just like, pretty cool to work with him in some way. Right. Then you got Leo over there also. Yeah.
Y'all got y'all history and everything.
Leo's a beast. And like I said a million different times, Leo's one of my favorite people, man. As far as talent, come on. That guy is ridiculously talented. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to over there, just to have some fun and help out that show and have some feuds that people didn't even think about. I never worked with Edge either.
That'd be great to see you in Edge.
That'd be a good one.
Great to see you in Edge.
There's a lot of different things that I would be interested in.
We're most excited that the Hurt Syndicate is back.
Yes.
You know, it was great to see that. To be honest, I mean, general consensus in the media was we kind of had an idea, especially when MVP and Shelton Benjamin debuted. It was like, you know, Bobby's more than likely coming to AEW. So I'd like to hear your thoughts. I know you said, you know, there's so much creativity and so much more things that you can do right in AEW. What was ultimately the deciding factor? And because you had told us last time you were still deciding, right? Like you didn't know if you were going to take another fight. You didn't know if maybe you wanted to enjoy some more time off. What ultimately was the deciding factor to get back into the professional wrestling space?
I think part of it was because Tony did tell me that I had opportunity to do other things also. Okay. So if I do want to really tackle that fight and do another fight, whether it's boxing, bare knuckles, MMA, I think he'll give me the opportunity to. And then all my other projects also that I've been working on. I just put one out. My Phenoms to Legend.
Yeah, we've been watching it. Yeah.
Oh, the one today is fantastic.
Okay, we haven't seen that one yet.
It's a wrestler kid.
Yeah.
I think you did the Taekwondo with my cousin.
Yeah. She was fun, man. Yeah. She's great, man. She is great. Just seeing her in Taekwondo setting, and then afterwards when she was in the other one, when I came in there, I was like, "Where's the little kid that I was just working with before?" But she was so mature, and it's cool with this because I like it because just listening to these kids at a very high level like that, man. These kids talk like they could be coaching adults, man. Yeah. This kid today
different
that I put out, this kid. Went and met him, his family, his brothers.
He's wrestling. He does wrestling. Okay.
He's already a world champion. Took bronze in the world.
Oh wow!
In high school, he beat a national champion, a college national champion. The kid is like he's special. Yeah. He's a very special kid. So that's my program. I love doing that. So I think that was part of it, just having the ability to do other things. But then afterwards, I just kind of looked at it and I was just like, man, you know, we talked about this Hurt business and what we could have done with it, the Hurt Syndicate now. I was like, man, if I'm going to go out, there's certain ways that I want to go out. And I didn't get an opportunity to go out the way that I wanted to with putting those guys over and having feuds with those guys. Yeah. So I was like, another avenue that I could be happy with is to be able to go and work with P and Sheldon again and then to be able to run with that and just have fun with it. Because ultimately, we are a group that's good for the company. Right. Like I said before, we have the ability to be able to build talent. You know, you go in a feud with us, you're in the mic against P, you got Sheldon, you got me, you got whoever else we bring on. So you have a lot of obstacles so you don't have to take out all of us because it's a lot to take out, but you can go in there and battle. If you can box with us, man, you can, I think it will raise your value and put you at a different level. Because you have a lot of places to counter and fight and everything like that. And ultimately, the numbers will get you. But if you are that guy, then you could possibly beat us all.
Yeah. And the beauty thing is you're doing it in front of fans now.
Yeah.
Compared to when the first one with the Hurt business,
Tragedy
it was
that
all
happened,
during
fans.
COVID time. I mean, and y'all held it down.
Yeah.
Y'all definitely did. Y'all, y'all worked with what y'all got,
Yeah.
and y'all killed it. So it's nice to see y'all at least get that reaction from the fans.
Yeah, they were fun. They were fun working with. We talked about a whole bunch of other things that we can do with it, but ultimately it's just having fun and keeping our ears open a little bit. Because now that we have the fans kind of barking at us, everybody comes with something new, and then every time they do it, I'm like, all right, let's see if we figure out a way to put that in there. But that's all I want to do is I want to have some fun for the last few years of wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be doing it forever.
Yeah.
I'm not. So I want to have some fun with the last few years and really help some guys, elevate some guys the way that I was. Like I said, some of the guys that helped me when I first started out, it was like they were like, "Come on, kid, follow me."
Yeah.
JBL, the big shows, and some of those guys that I work with, Fit, Regal, all those guys, they just held my hand and brought me along. So do the same.
When it comes to professional fighting, because that was the discussion you brought up last time as far as you didn't know if you were going to do an MMA fight, if you're going to go back to professional wrestling, or we didn't know what the plan was. That raised some questions of, is there anyone, now AEW, but in WWE, that can actually go, that can actually fight?
Just in wrestling in general.
Yeah, wrestling in general. Yeah, we'll say that. That can actually...
Professional wrestling.
Have
Obviously, what name that comes to mind is Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And you, of course, right?
Yeah.
Who are some people that people may not know that actually know how to fight?
Oh, well, Chad Gable's an Olympian.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an Olympian in Greco. A lot of the guys now are doing jiu-jitsu a lot more, but Shelton Benjamin, of course, he's a multiple-time All-American. He wrestled for University of Minnesota, so he was Brock's training partner in college. And there's a handful of other guys that wrestled. I think Cody wrestled in high school. I don't know if he went to college with it.
Because I know Baron Corbin did
Dozier,
boxing, right?
He did boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Doge did. He was a wrestler. I think he did Greco also.
Just recently, I found out that
Kross did.
Karion Kross is like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I had no idea.
Yeah, he does jiu-jitsu, and he boxed also. He came from.
Oh, did he?
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
his dad was a boxer. He was telling me before.
Wow.
So there's a handful of guys that can throw in there.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other wrestlers. Chad Gable's partners, his tag team partners, those two guys.
Yes.
What are they called now?
The-
I'm going blank. on
All-Americans?
Yes.
Is it the All-Americans?
No, it's
wait.
the Creed brothers. It's the Creed brothers.
It's the
but
Creed brothers.
I'm trying to remember
I'm trying to think of their faction name. American Made.
American Made.
American Made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
they look like you see the cauliflower.
Yeah,
ears on them
he
too,
wrestled. They were
yeah.
wrestled at a high level. They were solid. They were super solid.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of guys that can still do it. And with MMA, it's like, do they have the ability to cross over? I think in our sport, since we kind of in that combat sport a little bit, I think that anybody can go over to MMA and kind of like learn some of the fine points and just go out there and do it. But there are a handful of guys that just have that background.
Yeah. Yeah, because you mentioned it last time, and we're big UFC fan, big boxing fans.
Yeah.
And MVP mentioned that you're 19-0 in mixed
lied.
martial arts. Oh, did he? Are you not 19-0? What's your actual record?
19-2.
Okay.
He's like, I'm gonna take away those 2. I lie anyway. I'm a bad guy. I was like, well, people are gonna know, bro. All right, go ahead.
It works out.
And so,
but in my opinion, any fighter is like, I didn't lose. I mean, realistically, I had mono with one of them,
okay.
and then another one I thought was kind of BS. I fought.
Were these all in
Thompson
Strike Force, like
India.
Bellator?
No, I fought one in India.
Okay.
At Super Fight League, I fought James Thompson, and I mean, I thought I beat him. I mean, he stayed there. He broke his orbital bone, so he stayed there afterwards. I didn't have a scratch on me. I came home,
wow. Okay.
and people said, "Oh, you won that fight," and I was like, "All right," but you know what? They raised his hand afterwards. But we fought again. We fought again in Bellator, and I finished him in like 90-something seconds.
There you go.
Okay.
It was a quick one. I took him down and started smashing him. I was like, I'm not leaving it to the judges.
Okay.
So, and then with anything, people look on like Sherdog and different things like that. It's like, no, you're not 19. Well, there's some cards or some fights that I had were like, other countries or smaller that weren't get picked up on those. So, so it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed what I was doing. I wasn't trying to like be the champion in the organization. Everybody has a different goal. Mine was, hey, I want to try to fight. And then I fought once and I was like, oh, okay, I like this. So I was like, I want to learn more about it. So I
Yeah.
started learning and fighting, and I felt like I was getting better. Some of my better fights and better opponents were in the practice room because I had a lot of great opponents or practice partners, from Bigfoot down in ATT to, King Mo was down there, and then we came back up, Cormier, Kane. I've trained Josh Barnett, of course.
Okay, wow.
For a long.
Yeah.
So I've worked with all those guys and trained with all those guys and sparred with all those guys. So some of my bigger opponents were definitely in the practice room. And then when I went out there and fought, I just fought and had fun with it.
Yeah. Would you say the just curious? I'm just curious. Would you say like the training regimen is as intense when you're training for fighting versus just for wrestling? You gotta stay in shape all year. It's not like you have a camp and then you go out there and fight, and then I'm sure some people take time off. Yeah. Wrestling, it's all year. Is it like? Would you say the wrestling regimen is a little bit more intense in that sense, or very similar?
I don't think. I think it's more like one is a sprint, one is a long distance.
Okay.
And when I say that long distance is professional wrestling is long distance. It's like you do it all the time. So you're not speeding up and speeding. You're not. It's just kind of let's keep everything. Let's work out when we need to. Because we have matches, and it's just a constant thing that goes around. Whereas when you fight, it's like, all right, tough training camp, and then tougher. Oh, toughest. I'm breaking myself down. I have it, and then I'm back down.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and then okay, and let's do it again. Okay. As a pro wrestling, it's like we're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
So you just kind of stay consistent with it. So there's not really a training camp where you pick it up harder or anything like that. Sometimes we have the bigger pay-per-views, Mania, Rumbles, SummerSlam. Some of those you might diet a little bit better, hit the weights a little bit harder, work out a little bit, just to get do whatever for the show. But outside of that, it's usually at that even kill.
Yeah.
All the way across.
Yeah. Who is somebody, you're back in AEW now, and, we're very excited to see the Hurt Syndicate, like we said multiple times already. Who is somebody, we saw the little promo that you guys had with Ricochet. I know MVP I've read something that he originally wanted. It was between him and Cedric that originally maybe to be in the Hurt business.
Yeah.
Is Ricochet somebody that you see yourself maybe having him join Hurt Syndicate now in AEW, or do you see somebody else maybe joining you guys?
We're gonna put an ad in Indeed, and we're gonna let people.
I think that we would be. I think that we would be good fits for Hurt Syndicate. Throw us in there. We'll take the first bumps. We'll take the first bumps, and then let you come in and clean up.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Ricochet. I think Ricochet. Everybody loves Ricochet. Yeah. If you see that guy in the ring, he's just ridiculous. I think Ricochet would be a great option. I don't know if he's going to be that person because there's another one over there.
Dog in him, that
does he have that dog in him? Like we asked him several times. He was like, I do. But everybody says that. Yeah. But it's you have that, and I think what's cool about him is he runs into the same category I did. Like I was such a baby face, and people still see me as a baby face. But when I'm with the Hurt business and I link it with MVP, then they were like, all right, he's a heel, and it helped me. Because having a heel manager kind of helps even a babyface kind of make that switch. Roman and Paul.
Yeah.
It's across the board. And I think that Ricochet could be with him. It would be a different kind of grit that he would have. Because that's what we did with Cedric all the time. Yeah. Cedric's stuff was so pretty and flashy. We were like, stop it. Just smash this dude in his face. But at the same time, I still pull for Leo, man. I think Leo would be awesome in the group too. I think either one of those guys would be. I think it would be incredible in the group.
Yeah.
But I mean, with that being said, I think there were some other names that were thrown out also. So
can I throw one out? It's just a random one. I don't know how you feel about it. It
may
not be a good fit. Oh, do you know what I'm gonna say?
Go ahead.
Go say it.
No, I'll be honest and I'll say yes or no.
Okay.
If there is.
This is just one that it doesn't seem like it would work right now, but I think long-term storytelling and I think the potential of this guy. Right now, like I said, people may not see the vision, but I just see a good name I think could fit with you guys and that you could really boost up is this guy Hook on AEW. I don't know if you thought about that one, but I think. And I know he's not. I know, like I said, he don't vision wise. I think it may take people a little bit, but I think, dude, he's a young talent, and I think he could really benefit from you guys.
I'm gonna give you kudos at first because you didn't say somebody was black.
Yeah.
So you took that off.
Right.
And then when you said that, I was like,
he's going against Christian Cage right now.
I know. Yeah. I like him. Yeah. I like Hook.
I think
I don't think I've met him either yet.
You guys need a young guy you can mold him, turn him into a savage, and now
No,
he's
his
already a
dad's
savage.
And he already has a little bit of that grit in him right now.
Taz
Exactly.
is his dad. Like I think he'd be a good fit. And if it happens, you gotta shout out the Lame Guys. You gotta shout out the Lame Guys podcast. On
Hey,
AEW.
bring this MVP. Let him discuss it.
Hey, yeah, like because I mean, I think first off, I gotta say also your guys' theme song,
Oh,
phenomenal. I really like
it's
it.
so clean.
That's one of the positives.
We hurt
of
people.
of AEW is I feel like the songs are just you have the freedom with that. But MVP in the song says if you need some work, he can help you out, and I think Hook could benefit from that. Unless you would rather take us, I'll be fine with that.
Take
too.
some bumps.
Yeah, get
Like
us
you
in-
said.
get us in there.
We're
get
gonna
us
put
in
the
there.
ad out. See who responds.
Yeah,
He
but
said
I
on Indeed.
but I think that would be a good fit.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll look into it.
All right.
Earlier you mentioned, earlier we mentioned Karion Kross and everything like that, doing jiu-jitsu and everything like that. It made me want to ask, how was it working with him at WrestleMania 40 and that whole build up the whole storyline that was being involved? But how was it working with him?
I think it was cool. Like I said before, and I've praised Karion on what he does because he really takes the steps. Like he's doing stuff all the time. Like he's following his
He's very
storyline
talented.
online and on his social media and everything like that. And he gets into his character. He gets into everything that's going on. So it's something that I think other people should kind of look at because and I see it all the time after TV. You'll see him posting something on social media. He'll get somebody out there. So he's investing into his character more, and he's talking, and he's walking the walk, and he's open to things. So I think he's in a good place right now. Like I think I said on an interview before that I think they should use him at the top a little bit more because he fits that category, and I think he can really do it. And then when you put those two big guys with him, AOP, I mean,
They're huge.
like that's a massive group.
Yeah.
And I know in wrestling you can't always just go by because somebody's big, they should be in a certain position. But I think that he's kind of like locked in everything. He's making different gripes on there, but in character, which is cool, and it allows people to really look at what he's been doing. He's like, I beat all these world champions. I beat them all.
Yeah.
You know? So if I beat them all, then I should be beating them all, when it counts and putting into that category. But you know how it is. You got to give that person that legitimacy so that he can win that title. So I think with somebody like him, all you have to do is you don't have to give him like this major push. You have him knock off one person that everybody's like, whoa,
Holy shit! Yeah.
And then the next match he can be in there for the title.
Yeah.
It could be anyone. I mean, but it has to be somebody credible. It has to be somebody that people think, oh, he's not going to win this one. This is
like a Seth
Cross
Rollins
is usually
or-
a jobber.
Yeah.
Let him win it. A match, not where anything is in there. Just have him win the match. Then they'll be like, okay, well, let's put him with Cody. Or put him against Gunther. Put him against somebody. That's all he needs. So I think it was cool working with him, and they were open to stuff. And I thought it turned out really well. They didn't give us as much time and energy as we could have with that, but when we got to the finish line, it worked. So
Yeah. No, you guys had a great WrestleMania.
I was excited about that.
He said on Chris Van Vliet that you had mentioned, these guys like to run to the dirt sheets.
Yeah.
And that y'all should have a fight backstage. Was that actually happen? Like, or
That's me and my CTE again. All right, that's another clickbait.
Well, we heard that and we were thinking, we're like, wow, that would have been crazy.
I see. Like, I look at that, and
I wanted to because there's not too many people that can do that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
you guys
I said
both
with
come from
that,
fighting
man, you've
backgrounds.
got to toe those lines in certain things. And he said, all right, well, what if nobody breaks us up? I was like, then we just fight. It's not like it's hard. Like, come on, because like. Once you get to the point of doing that, like I've sparred, he's sparred, he has jiu-jitsu, he has boxing, everything like that. It's not like we're gonna bust each other open,
right.
But we can get into a good little scuffle and kind of like I don't want to say lie to anybody, but kind of like work everyone. And I thought that's what needed because we weren't getting anything.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we need to make something happen. And what something easy is because I think everybody saw a little bit of like underlying tension with us. I was like, well, let's run with it, and it could be easy. You say something wrong, and I check you on it, and then we go at it, and however that works. But we get into the point where we do it, and then and when we get pulled apart, we get pulled into the office. You know, that's the part where we're talking, and we're the only ones that know what's going on.
Yeah.
And everybody else is like, oh, what's going on? What's going on?
They try to figure out, is this a work
And
or what?
yeah, and then let them think that. I mean, at first, because there's so many people that are like run and tell stuff to the dirt sheets. Like, let them go tell them.
Yeah.
Let them go tell. Like, and then so now you have some talk on it. So now whether people think it's real or fake, they're talking about it.
Right.
And it's a match that we're putting in WrestleMania. So bring some heat behind it. So that's why I was like, why wouldn't we do these things? Does everything need to be done on TV where it's like, all right, this is what they decide? Yeah. It's like, let's start making some decisions on our own. So that was what that was about. I mean, I don't know how it didn't get taken in the wrong way. But
No.
People thought it was cool.
people
and honestly, a lot of people praise that.
People thought it was cool, and that made me want to ask about it.
I wanted to do that. I wanted to do it with Brock also.
Yeah.
I mean, because everybody with me and Brock, they were like, we need these guys to fight. And I was like, oh, we should fight.
Yeah.
We should just, I mean, because you've seen, everybody's seen it.
So crazy.
Everybody's seen those times where, like I've seen that clip where him and Braun did something. It was like Brock went after.
Braun yes,
the
the one where Braun
Braun
knees him a little hard, and then Brock it actually looks like Brock, throws a little punch in there. That's like slow down. Yeah.
Nobody knows what happened there.
Yes.
But if you run with something like that, then that's where it brings all the attention. And
Yeah.
I was like, it's not that we're beating each other up, but I mean, we could blur those lines a little bit with certain people. Certain people I wouldn't be able to do that with. Yeah. But I took Kross, and I was like, well, he's somebody that I can do it with. He's a bigger guy. Yeah. He fought. And if we did get in a fight, people would be like, ooh, I would like to see that fight. So that's what I thought with him. That's what I thought with Brock. I think it would have been interesting.
Yeah. I think when I think of you and Brock, what I think would have been great to see you guys is I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Braun Strowman had a little thing with Bronson Reed, and they were constantly like, you would just see them throughout the show, whatever show it was, you would just see them backstage just demolishing each other.
Craziness.
Yes,
yeah.
I think you and Brock that would have
and it would have fit so perfectly.
Yeah,
because you and Brock are beasts.
Yeah, you had to just give an opportunity to do it.
Yeah,
and that's where some of the better storylines came, is where people just were like, let's toe that line. Or even cross it at some points. Have fun with it.
Because even those storylines of whenever a rival would be so intense, and you have to clear the locker room to everyone go, you break them up and everything. I used to love that type of stuff.
Everybody did.
Yeah. AEW, you're in AEW now. All In is in Dallas next year.
Yeah.
A little bit of a home show for you.
Yes.
Have any? I don't know if you can give any answers now, but you have any visions on who you'd like to see yourself face at All In next year?
I want to be either defending the title or fighting for the title.
That's what we need.
You heard it here
first. That's what we need, Bobby.
Clickbait.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
Yeah, because I think a couple of different things. I won the title when I have ECW title, WWE title, TNA title.
It's only fitting.
AEW title. That's
it'll look good on your mantle. It'll look really good on your mantle.
Yeah. And then put it on, and then once I get it,
you need to send us one. Send us a replica. We'll put it up here. We'll put it up here.
I want to get it because I think it's I think I can based on just history, background, who I am, and what I do. So I could have that title and it would be justified. But I think even more importantly, it's something for other guys to work towards. And I'm not an easy person to get to, So, and then when you get to it, you don't necessarily want to be there. It's like, I want to get that title match, but then I win. Now I have that title match. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, you want them to have
gotta
chase.
Fight him.
Yeah.
So once I do that, I think it would be good for a lot of people at AEW to have like that kind of immovable object.
Yeah.
Try to get over.
Yeah,
I think I could
sure.
be that for a lot of people over there.
Yeah. It's crazy to think it's in Dallas because they did Wembley, I think, the past 2 years.
2 years, right?
So this time it's going to be at Globe Life.
Globe Life, that's going to be a big one right there.
Last question we had for you, Bobby. Just got announced you're going to get Swerve Strickland at AEW Full Gear, November 23rd. Any words for Swerve before we head out and end it?
I think it's a bad move for him. Like right now,
I agree.
Everybody in that locker room. Have you ever seen that one video where they had a bunch of tigers in a cage and then the Siberian tiger came?
Yeah.
Oh, and they all back down.
And everybody was like,
yeah. Yep.
I think that's how everybody should have acted when I walked into AEW.
Yes, sir. They're finna get introduced to the Almighty.
But I think a lot of these guys have some balls over there. I mean, they step up. So if they want to step up, I just don't think it's like for me. Like I would just watch. I would watch some of the other guys say, "All right, what are they going to do with him?" I think I like Swerve. Man.
Is that who you thought I was gonna say earlier?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. No, I thought you were going to say somebody else. But I like Swerve. I like what Swerve's been doing. He's carried that show. Well, I won't say carried that show because there's a lot of guys on that show that are doing really well.
There's a lot of talent.
He just really he took that step. And I think it's great what he's done. And I think it's a huge honor for me to have a match with somebody at that level. Like they're putting me against one of their top right at the beginning.
Yes.
Which it shows a little bit of respect for who I am and coming in there. I think it was good in that sense, but I just wouldn't have wanted to be Swerve. Swerve was just it's bad, man.
They're automatically throwing the top boy into the
beat
wolves.
people up bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel bad about it. Nah. Oh yeah. So no. Sometimes I do. Like I used to do this all the time. Whenever we had extras come and they had to work with me. Yeah, they had to work with me, and then I would beat them up, and then I would at least give them gift cards. I was big on giving gift cards. I would give people like little Venmo or Amazon gift cards or something like that. It's almost like sending flowers to a funeral.
Yeah, here's a gift card. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah, sorry for that ass woman.
Yeah, get yourself something nice.
Yeah.
I might have to do that to Swerve also.
Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing it. I don't think they're ready for Hurt Syndicate. I don't think they're ready for the Almighty Bobby Lashley. They're gonna find out.
Yeah, it's gonna be
really
fun.
excited.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming out, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Bobby.
Right on, guys.